Greetings, fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone. I hope everyone's doing well. It's just been a crazy time at work. I've been very, very busy, especially the last 3 weeks. So I just haven't had a lot of time to do any new content, but my good friend Sean Erschen tagged me in a video, and I haven't been tagged in a video in a while. Thank you so much, Sean, for tagging me. I wrote everything down. So this is called the Terror Tag. This was started by the CollectorMan, but the CollectorMan started it. Sean tagged me, and it's 6 questions, and I thought this would be a lot of fun. So thank you again, Sean, and we'll get started. Having a drink tonight. I usually don't drink, but my wife made me a cocktail, and after this week I really needed it. So here we go. So number 1, favorite 80s slasher. So this would be favorite 80s slasher film. I have a hard time deciding between these two because they're 2 of my favorite films of all time. So I'm going with 2 choices here. Number 1 will be Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, and then Psycho 2. I love both of these films for very different reasons. I still think Psycho 2 is a masterpiece. I put it over the original, which a lot of people would not do, but this was my introduction to Norman Bates and Anthony Perkins and the franchise. And this film is like an old friend. It's a movie that I saw for the first time when I was 10 years old in 1984, and I've loved it ever since I saw it. It's a very haunting, emotional film with a fantastic performance by the late great Tony Perkins, my favorite actor of all time, and also Meg Tilly, the late Robert Loggia. You have Hugh Gillum, Vera Miles, amazing cast, written by Tom Holland and directed by the late great Richard Franklin, with the amazing score by Jerry Goldsmith, which is one of my favorite scores of all time. Probably my favorite after Harry Suckman's Salem's Lot score. And then with this film, Friday the 13th Part 6, it was the first film that made me a Jason fan, like 100%. I love the Friday the 13th movies when I was little, but seeing this film for the first time, it was so much fun. It was like going to an amusement park. It was a roller coaster ride. It's got less gore, it's got less nudity and stuff like that in it, but this movie is just so much fun, and CJ Graham will always be my favorite Jason. I think Tom McLaughlin did a great job, and yeah, it's just, it never gets old. Will always be my favorite Friday the 13th film, and it's one I never get tired of watching. Saw it for the first time in the movie theater in 1986 when I was 12. So yeah, 2 great films that really still are like 2 old friends that hold a very near and dear place in the boogeyman's heart. So let's take another drink. Whew. So number 2, if you could recommend a horror film made before 1960, what would it be and why? I would go with 1953's House of Wax, starring the late great Vincent Price. This film has always just amazed me. I remember the first time I watched it, and I was just fascinated by the set and the way that everything looked. And it's a very tragic movie too, and I just have always loved Vincent Price, and this film is so well done, and there's an eerie quality to it. I love old movies that were shot on sound stages and backlots. I don't know why. There just is a different quality to them than ones that are shot on location. And this film is just so amazing, so haunting, and again has a sadness to it as well, but I love the visual effects. I love the makeup effects in this. Absolutely fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, you definitely owe yourself to check this out. Okay, question number 3. If you could redo any film in a horror franchise, what would it be? This one might be controversial, and it is a film that I enjoy, but there's an element of it that still pisses me off, and it's made the film a little lower for me over the years, and that would be Scream 2. I remember seeing this movie in the theater when it opened in 1997. I took my girlfriend at the time to see it. I was so excited. I had seen the original Scream in the theater probably 4 times. They kept re-releasing it because it was a film that no one knew what it was going to do. It opened small and just grew because word of mouth, and I remember I saw it like Christmas time when it opened in 1996, and then I saw it again in like the winter of 1997, the summer of 1997. Just like every time it was back in theaters, my friends and I would all go see it. And I was so excited they were making Scream 2, and that most of the cast that survived the first film was going to be coming back. But the element that I think ruins Scream 3, Scream 3 has always been my least favorite, But there's an element that starts in this film that I think ruined the third film, and that's the fact that they killed Randy. Randy was the voice of the horror fan. He was the ones that explained all the rules. In the first film, he was explaining the rules of the horror film, and you know, all the and it just was so awesome. And I love Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks. He's just so awesome. And then in the second film, they made the biggest mistake of killing him off like halfway through the film, and it always pisses me off, because I think what would have been so cool is if Randy could have been in Scream 3. I know they did like a little sort of cameo of him, like he shot a video will in case something, you know, happened to him. But I always thought it would have been cool if Randy turned out to be the killer, because Randy knew all the rules. And the fact that, you know, in the third film, it just turns out to be Sidney's brother. It just wasn't as interesting to me as if it would have been Randy. So yeah, I think I would remake Scream 2 and have Randy live, and I think that would have made Scream 3 that much better. Question number 4 is favorite final girl. That's a tough one because there's a lot that I really love. I think I'm going to have to go with Amy Steele, who played Ginny Fields in Friday the 13th Part 2. I don't know what it is about her, and I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and I love Heather Langenkamp, and I love a lot of these amazing actresses that brought these characters to life. But there's something about the Ginny Fields character, and I really wish that she could have carried on and done, you know, been in more of the films. But there's just something about her that I absolutely adore in Friday the 13th Part 2. I love how intelligent she was. I love that she kind of sympathized with Jason and was able to play upon his weaknesses when she's trying to distract him, when he's chasing her and corners her in his, you know, remote house out in the middle of the woods in Crystal Lake. I don't know what it is. And I met Amy Steele about 8 years ago, and she was an awesome person, so nice and so fun to talk to, and she's one of the greatest horror celebrity experiences I've had, and yeah, her character has just gotten more and more popular with me, as has Friday the 13th Part 2, which is one of my favorite horror films, and one of my favorites in the franchise as well. Question number 5 is favorite John Carpenter theme music. I'm going to have to go with Halloween. I was toying back and forth between The Fog and Christine, but I think I'm going to have to go with Halloween, because that's just so iconic. It just chills you when you hear it, and it makes the hair on the back of your neck rise up. I mean, but and even the various interpretations of it from Alan Howarth and Tyler Bates did a good job on it with the Rob Zombie movies, but still it originated with John Carpenter, so I got to go with the OG. It is one of the best horror movie themes ever. Question number 6 is asking about Kevin Bacon, says Kevin Bacon may be the next Freddy Krueger. Do you think it's a good idea? If not, who would you cast? That is the last question, and that's a tough one. I was not a huge fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. It wasn't Jackie Earle Haley's performance. I think Jackie Earle Haley is a fantastic actor and can give a terrific performance. I love him and pretty much everything I've seen, and he did a great job with what he was given as Freddy Krueger. But he just wasn't menacing in that role, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the direction, I don't know what it was, but there was just something off about that movie. And I think one of the main things that has always bothered me about that is that he looked just like Robert Englund. It's almost like they had an understudy play Freddy Krueger, like Robert Englund's understudy. They just had the smaller guy play Freddy, and there really wasn't anything menacing about him, to me. I mean, I know there are some fans of that film. I love the Friday the 13th remake, and there's people that hate that movie. So for the same reason, I've never really gotten into the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and I've had more problems with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as I've gotten older. My favorite films of the franchise are the first 3, and Freddy vs. Jason. The rest of them, there's things about them I like, but they're not rewatchable for me. I don't know why. I don't revisit them like I do Halloweens and Friday the 13th. And I think Kevin Bacon's a good idea, but I think you want to go with an unknown. Robert Englund was pretty much a character actor when he was Freddy. He had been he'd been Eaten Alive, he was on V, he was in things like that, but he wasn't a real well-known household name. And I think they need to reinterpret Freddy. I don't think they need to make him look exactly like he did, because Robert Englund is synonymous with Freddy. He played Freddy for 8 movies. I mean, if you count Freddy vs. Jason and Freddy's Nightmares television series. So it's like they have to reinterpret that character and make it different. They can't just make it like Robert Englund was, because people will always compare if they do that. So they got to reinterpret the character, make him a little bit different. Get somebody that's not a big actor. Get somebody, a character actor, to play Freddy. I think that would work better than having a star that's well established play him. Just my 2 cents on it, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. So again, it's called the Terror Tag. CollectorMan is the one that started it, and my good friend Sean Erschen tagged me. I'm going to tag my good buddy Phil over at Phil's Creepy Vids. I would love to see I would love to hear your answers to this, my friend. And thanks so much, everyone, for stopping by. I hope everyone is doing well and getting through this crazy year. I know that it's been tough for everyone, but I have hope, and I'm trying to stay positive that we're going to all get through this, and that next year will be a great year. Just me trying to be optimistic about everything, but that's just how I have to live, right? I think things are going to get better, and I hope all of you are well. And thank you so much for all the support, for checking out the Horror Zone. I got a lot of cool horror content coming soon, working on a lot of cool stuff, and I hope everyone will check that out. So hope you guys all have a nice evening. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. Thank everyone for taking this time to drop by the Horror Zone. It really means a lot to me that people are supporting what I do here. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. I upload videos at least once or twice a week. It would really mean a lot if people would spread the word about this channel. This is a passion of mine. I love the horror genre, and I'm really happy to share my love of it with all of you. So thanks so much again for checking it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.